Hi, how are you? I'm Ben Kweller from Austin, Texas. Mwah.
Ben, how are you?
I am good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I love ACL Fest. I performed yesterday, so I'm off duty, and that always feels good. It's like that sense of relief, like, you know, the show's over, because there's such a build-up all week, you know, rehearsals and press leading up to it, and just the buzz of it, you know. And
you started your music career, solo artist in New York at 18.
Yeah.
You were probably living a pretty busy lifestyle. How did you deal with that?
I started writing songs when I was 8, okay, when I was a little boy. And I started my first band when I was 12. We were called Radish, and this was out of Dallas, Texas. And we got a record deal when I was 15. So I actually took my GED, good enough diploma, and left high school and went on tour. So that's really like the craziest thing looking back now. I'm 40 years old, and so I did the Radish thing as a band. And then once I was 18, I decided to move to New York, and that's when I went solo as Ben Kweller.
And with your songs, have any of these songs that you've written kind of been a reflection of your mental health at any point?
For sure. I've always dreamt of being someone that keeps a diary or a journal, and I've tried it, and I never follow through with the consistency, but I'm always writing songs. My whole life I've been writing songs, and so I've realized that those are really my diary pages. And a lot of times you write lyrics and you're not even sure what it's about in the moment, but then months later I'll say, oh, that was about this thing that happened to me, you know? And sometimes they like even tell the future. It's really like a mystical thing, songwriting, to me at least, and to a lot of other friends of mine that I've talked to about songwriting. When I'm really down and sort of like depressed, it's difficult for me to write. And I know there's the whole like, you know, a lot of like the Charles Bukowski, like, oh, you gotta be so depressed to make the best art. That doesn't work for me. Like, I actually have to be in a good headspace to create. If I'm down, it's hard for me to, you know, get out of bed and want to write a song.
And whenever you feel like you're in a bad mental state, what are some of the things that you do to kind of pull yourself out of there and then get back into that headspace where you can write again, you can perform again, and do things like that?
Community is so important. I mean, we are social creatures. And so for me, like in my darkest periods, you know, leaning on, I'm lucky to have both of my parents still, leaning on them, and my wife, who's been with me since the beginning of my career, and my kids, and, you know, but then my best friends, my musicians, friends, and, you know, my band, like all of that it's so important to have people to talk to. It's just like honesty, transparency, and never feel bad about your feelings. And, you know, even if, you know, you need to make changes in your life, like you have to start at a baseline of knowing what is what, right?
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get people to check in on each other and say, hi, how are you?
Yes.
But not only on the surface level, what's going on inside your head, what's going on in your life, what are you worried about, what are you stressed about? So thank you for joining this conversation on mental health awareness.
Thank you for having me. Thank
of course.
you.